Chosen one. This is not just another message. It is a divine warning, a sacred call from heaven reaching out to save you from the edge of something you cannot yet see. There is a weight pressing upon your chest, a quiet ache that has grown louder with every passing day. You have felt it those restless nights, that shortness of breath, that sense of heaviness you cannot explain. It is not random. Heaven is trying to save you, not only from what doctors might call a heart attack, but from the deeper collapse of your inner sanctuary, the temple within you that has been carrying too much pain, too much fear, and too much silence. Your heart is not merely flesh and blood. It is the sacred bridge between your body and your soul, the very chamber where the breath of God still whispers with every beat. Yet you have forgotten to listen. You have fought too long, believing that endurance is strength and silence is courage. But heaven does not want to see you fall apart in secret. There is a gentle knock echoing from above, not from fate, but from your Creator saying, "Stop, listen, I am trying to save you." Those sudden pangs in your chest, the fatigue that appears without reason, the uneasy rhythm of your pulse, these are not coincidences. They are signals, divine whispers disguised as symptoms, warning you that your body is carrying the burden your soul can no longer hold. You think you are fine, but deep inside your heart is breaking under the weight of anger, disappointment, and words you never said aloud. This ancient truth is not a suggestion, it is a commandment. And today, it is being spoken again directly to you. For if the heart is the source of life, then your life itself is now in danger. Heaven does not speak to frighten you. It speaks to awaken you. You are walking the fragile line between exhaustion and renewal, between physical pain and spiritual rebirth. Chosen one, if these words reach you now, take them seriously. There are no accidents in heaven's design. Every beat of your heart is both a cry for help and a divine call to awareness. The very pulse within you is saying, "Remember who you are. Remember who made you." Heaven is not only trying to save you from a physical collapse, but from the deeper tragedy of forgetting your own sacred worth, your divine purpose, and the presence of the one who has never stopped watching over you. Now, as you step forward into this divine truth, if this message resonates with your spirit, you can write 777 as an act of agreement in faith, or simply stay and receive what heaven has prepared for you. Don't rush away. Stay present until the end, because we are going to close this message with a powerful prayer, one that will speak directly into your heart and awaken your spirit today. And as you declare your agreement, let your soul whisper, "I receive this warning not with fear but with faith. I choose life over exhaustion, peace over chaos, and restoration over neglect. I choose to protect the temple within me, to honor the God who formed my heart, and to live the days ahead in alignment with his rhythm." This is not the end of your story, chosen one. This is the moment heaven calls you back to life. Chosen one, heaven has seen what you've tried to hide. The sleepless nights, the tired mornings, the way you hold your chest and whisper to yourself, "I'll be fine." You've been running on empty, convincing your mind that your body will catch up, that your heart can handle one more wave of stress, one more day of pretending to be strong. But heaven sees the truth. You are exhausted, not only in flesh but in spirit. You've been carrying too much for too long, and the strain is beginning to show in the very core of your being. Every sigh you take, every moment your hands tremble slightly, every pause between your words, it's all being witnessed. You may fool others with a smile, but you cannot hide the truth from the one who created you. Heaven sees you when your chest tightens after bad news, when your pulse races at the thought of another burden you can't escape. You think it's just anxiety or fatigue, but it's more than that. It's the voice of your heart crying for mercy, begging you to slow down before it breaks under the pressure you've refused to release. You were never meant to live this way, always running, always proving, always holding yourself together for everyone else. You've mistaken endurance for faith, thinking that pushing harder means trusting more. But heaven did not design you to be a machine. You were made to breathe, to rest, to heal, to feel joy in simple moments, not to drag yourself through each day as if survival were the only goal. The truth is, heaven has been protecting you even in your recklessness. There were nights your heart wanted to give up, yet you woke up again because a divine hand kept it beating. There were times you should have collapsed, but something unseen carried you through. You thought it was luck, coincidence, or willpower. It wasn't. It was grace, pure, quiet grace, guarding you until this very moment when heaven could finally speak to you clearly, as C.S. Lewis wrote in The Four Loves. Grace substitutes a full, childlike and delighted acceptance of our need, a joy in total dependence. This insight affirms that the grace sustaining you is an invitation to rest in your dependence on God, trusting His protection to lead you to healing. You are standing at a turning point now. One path leads to healing, the other to destruction. Heaven will not force your choice, but the time for ignorance is over. The fatigue, the dizziness, the sharp breath, they are not random. They are gentle alarms from above, calling you to awaken before the storm arrives. You have been chosen to live differently, to rise not in chaos but in balance. So pause, breathe, place your hand over your heart, and acknowledge what heaven already knows, that you are fragile, yes, but still sacred. That even in your weariness there is purpose. That this warning is not punishment, but protection. The eyes of heaven are not judging you, they are pleading with you. Take care of what I gave you before it's too late. Chosen one, the warnings have been there all along. They came quietly, disguised as fatigue, as dizziness, as the strange tightness in your chest that you brushed off with. It's nothing, but it was never nothing. Heaven has been sending you signals, soft at first, then sharper, hoping you would stop, listen, and turn back before something irreversible happens. You have treated exhaustion as a badge of honor, pain as a sign of strength, and silence as endurance. But every time you dismiss these signs, you walk closer to the edge. Your body has been whispering what your soul has been screaming. I can't carry this anymore. The headaches, the sudden rushes of heat, the trembling hands, the restless heartbeats, they are not random accidents. They are your Creator's way of shaking you awake, of saying, if you won't slow down by choice, I will make you stop by mercy. Heaven's mercy often looks like discomfort. It interrupts before destruction. And right now, that interruption is happening through your own heart. You've begun to live in survival mode, breathing shallow, thinking fast, sleeping little, feeling nothing. You've trained yourself to function in chaos, to numb what hurts, to ignore what aches. But you are not made of steel. You are made of breath and light, and both are fading under the weight you keep refusing to put down. When the body cries, it's the spirit weeping through flesh. And your spirit is screaming for rest, for release, for rescue. There is a dangerous illusion that time is endless, that you can keep pushing, and it will somehow balance itself out. But time is running thin, and heaven is not being dramatic. The storm that is coming is not only physical, it is spiritual. It is the collapse that comes when a soul refuses to listen to mercy. If you keep ignoring these signals, there will come a day when the heart that has carried you this far will simply stop. Not out of punishment, but because it can no longer hold what you refuse to release. This is not fear, this is the truth. Heaven is not trying to scare you, it is trying to save you. You are being warned because you are loved. You are being shaken because your life still matters. The question is no longer if you will listen, but when. And the longer you wait, the louder the warning will become until it no longer whispers, but breaks through. Chosen one. You were taught that strength means never stopping, never crying, never showing weakness. The world told you that to be strong is to keep moving even when you are breaking inside. You believed that holding everything together, no matter how much it hurts, was the mark of faith, the proof of courage. But heaven sees it differently. What the world calls power, heaven often calls pride. and what the world calls weakness, heaven calls wisdom. You have mistaken endurance for obedience and pain for purpose. You keep fighting, thinking you're being brave, but all this time you've been ignoring the sacred truth that true strength is not in constant motion, it's in sacred pause. The courage to stop, to rest, to breathe, to listen. That is what keeps you alive. Even the mightiest tree must be still to grow deep roots. Even the ocean has tides that pull back before they rise again. When you rest, you are not quitting. You are honoring the rhythm God placed within creation itself. Even the Almighty rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because rest is holy. Genesis 2:2. It is the seal of completion, the moment when what was created is allowed to breathe, to exist, to be. And yet you made in his image refuse to rest, believing it is weakness. You push yourself beyond the limits of grace and call it faith. But heaven never asked you to destroy yourself in the name of strength. Every time you deny your need for rest, you silence the voice of your own spirit. You drown out the gentle whisper that says, "Slow down, I'm still here." And slowly, you begin to confuse exhaustion with righteousness, busyness with purpose, chaos with calling. But that is not divine strength, it is spiritual burnout disguised as devotion. Heaven is calling you back to balance. The same power that moves mountains also knows when to be still. The same hand that formed galaxies also formed your heart to beat and to rest. Chosen one, you were never meant to live like a storm. You were meant to live like the dawn, steady, patient, and full of light. Strength is not about how much you can endure. It is about how wisely you protect what was given to you. To rest is not to fall behind it, is to walk in step with heaven. Chosen one, pause for a moment. Stop whatever you're doing and place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating beneath your palm. That rhythm is not just biology. It is a voice from heaven, whispering, "You are still alive. You still have time." Every beat is proof that grace is still working, that purpose has not left you, that heaven is still giving you another chance to begin again. You rush through your days as if you are racing against something invisible, forgetting that each breath is a divine gift. Your heart has been loyal even when you've ignored it. It has kept you alive while you pushed it to the limit, while you carried stress like armor and fear like air. Yet still it beats, still it forgives, still it hopes you'll finally listen. Listen to what it's saying right now. It is asking you to slow down, to take care of what keeps you alive. Drink water real, clean water that restores your body. Walk beneath sunlight, because light was made to heal. Eat food that brings life, not the kind that dulls your spirit. Sleep when your body begs for rest. None of these is our luxury. They are sacred acts of alignment. When you care for the vessel you live in, you are honoring the hands that shaped it. You've been taught that rest is laziness, that slowing down is failure. But rest is not weakness, it is worship. To rest is to acknowledge that you are not infinite, that your strength comes from something greater than yourself. When you pause, you make space for heaven to move. When you breathe deeply, you let divine peace enter places where anxiety once ruled. Chosen one, your body is not an obstacle to your calling, it is the foundation that carries it. How can you serve, love, or lead if the vessel collapses? How can the message flow if the messenger is broken? Heaven does not need your exhaustion, it needs your presence, your awareness, your wholeness. So, honor your heartbeat. Let it remind you that life is still sacred, that slowing down is not giving up, and that caring for yourself is not selfish. It is obedience to the rhythm of creation. As you keep your hand over your heart, whisper quietly to yourself, "I choose to live," because every beat beneath your hand is heaven saying back to you, "Then live well, chosen one." You've taken care of everyone else's needs, but deep inside, your heart has been gathering toxins that no medicine can cleanse. There are memories that still sting when you remember them. Words that echo in your chest like broken glass, faces you can't think of without feeling that familiar twist of pain. You've tried to bury it under productivity, under prayers you didn't fully mean, under smiles that never reached your eyes, but pain buried alive does not die. It festers. It turns the heart heavy and hard, until even love begins to feel like a threat. You keep replaying what was done to you, how they wronged you, how unfair it all was. And yes, it was unfair, but holding on to that fire only burns you from the inside out. Every time you revisit the memory, you reopen the wound. Every time you refuse to forgive, you drink poison and expect it to hurt someone else. You've confused justice with vengeance, healing with control. But heaven does not need your hands to fix what broke you. It only asks for your release. Let go, chosen one. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom. You don't forgive because they deserve peace. You forgive because you do. When you forgive, you stop carrying the weight that was never yours to bear. You create space inside your soul where peace can live again. That space is where heaven begins to work. Miracles, quiet ones, invisible at first, but powerful enough to shift everything that follows. You've held on to the pain so long that you've made it part of your identity, but you are not what they did to you. You are not the betrayal, not the abandonment, not the mistake. You are the survivor of it. You are the one still standing, still breathing, still loved. Heaven is not asking you to forget it. It is asking you to stop letting the past rule the present. There is strength in letting go. There is healing in surrender. When you release the bitterness, your heart beats differently. It feels lighter, clearer, alive. The storms outside may remain, but the storm inside begins to calm. And when peace returns, you will realize this truth. Forgiveness was never about them. It was about freeing the divine life inside you to breathe again. Chosen one, heaven has never left you. Even in the moments when you felt utterly alone, when the room was dark, when the tears fell without sound, when you stared at the ceiling and whispered questions no one could answer, heaven was there. The silence that felt like abandonment was not absence. It was the language of God waiting for you to still your noise. You thought he had turned away, but he was closer than your own breath, watching, listening, waiting for you to pause long enough to hear him. Every night you lie awake, your thoughts racing, your chest tightening, your heart heavy with questions. Why does this keep happening to me? Why does it hurt so much? Heaven heard every one of them, and though no voice spoke aloud, your pain was answered in whispers of protection, in invisible hands keeping your heart beating when you were too tired to care. You are not forgotten, chosen one. You were being carried through the storm you couldn't yet see. Heaven has been speaking to you through the simplest things, through the morning light that still finds its way through your curtains, through the quiet peace that visits you for a moment before the day begins, through the stranger's kindness that makes you pause and breathe again. Those are not coincidences. They are divine reminders that you are being watched over, that grace is still active, that love has not withdrawn. You have spent too much time filling the silence with noise, scrolling, working, talking, thinking, because you feared what might surface if you stopped. But it is only in stillness that heaven's voice can rise. You cannot hear a whisper in the middle of chaos. You must slow down, calm your mind, and create space for peace to enter. Heaven does not shout, it speaks softly, so that only those who truly seek will hear. Chosen one, this is the sacred truth. You are never alone. The same presence that formed galaxies rests inside your very heartbeat. The same hands that sculpted mountains now cradle your fragile soul. Every tear you've cried was counted, every sigh recorded, every prayer spoken or silent heard. You have not been abandoned, you have been accompanied. So when you feel the quiet again, do not run from it. Sit in it. Listen. That stillness you fear is not emptiness, it is where heaven lives. The silence that once terrified you will become your sanctuary. There, in the space between breath and heartbeat, You will realize that God never left. He was simply waiting for you to listen. Chosen one, you have been carrying far more than heaven ever asked you to. You've shouldered the pain of others, the weight of expectations, the silent responsibility to hold everything together when everything was falling apart. You've convinced yourself that if you just work harder, love deeper, pray longer, maybe the world around you will stop breaking. But that isn't strength, it's suffering disguised as duty. You were never meant to bear the entire weight of this world on your shoulders. That burden belongs to heaven. There are invisible stones you've stacked inside your heart: fear, guilt, disappointment, exhaustion, and you've been walking with them so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to breathe freely. You wake up tired, go to bed weary, and in between you move through life like a warrior fighting a battle that no longer belongs to you. Heaven has been whispering, "Put it down," yet you hold tighter, afraid that if you stop carrying, everything will collapse. But the truth is, nothing built on grace collapses when you rest. Only what was built in fear falls apart when you let go. You think holding on is faith, but real faith is surrender. It's trusting that what you release into heaven's hands will not be lost. It will be transformed. You don't have to control every outcome. You don't have to fix everyone. You don't have to explain yourself to be understood. All you are asked to do is release what drains your soul, what steals your peace, what no longer carries your divine fingerprint. The more you carry what isn't yours, the heavier your spirit becomes. It's why your body aches, why your heart races, why your mind never stops. Every burden has a spiritual weight, and your soul was not designed to hold them all. You were designed to walk in balance, to let heaven take what overwhelms you. This is not weakness, it is a sacred partnership. Heaven never asked you to do everything alone. It asked you to trust, to lean, to breathe, to believe that your worth is not measured by how much pain you can endure, but by how much peace you allow yourself to receive. Look at your life right now. Look at the responsibilities that keep you awake at night, the people you are constantly trying to rescue, the guilt you keep replaying. Some of those things were never yours to fix. Some of them belong only in heaven's hands. You've been bleeding for battles that don't require your blood. You've been trying to be a savior when you were only called to be faithful. It's time to lay it all down. The world will not crumble if you rest. Heaven will not judge you for breathing. Release what is not yours. Surrender what you cannot control. Let peace return to its rightful place inside you. You are not abandoning your duty, you are honoring your design. The moment you stop carrying what was never yours, your heart will remember how to live again. Chosen one, not everyone who walks beside you is meant to stay. Some people entered your life not as blessings but as lessons, and you've already learned what they came to teach. Yet you hold on, hoping that love will change them, that patience will heal them, that kindness will be enough to fill the void inside them. But the truth is, not all souls are willing to rise with you. Some cling to your light, only to survive in their own darkness. There are people who say they care, but every conversation leaves you drained. Every encounter leaves your heart heavier. You walk away from them feeling smaller, dimmer, less alive. And still, you stay, because you confuse loyalty with love. But heaven wants you to understand, distance is not cruelty. Sometimes it's protection. You can love them and still walk away. You can forgive them and still close the door. Your peace is sacred ground, and not everyone deserves to stand on it. Stop letting those who refuse to heal keep wounding you. Stop shrinking yourself to fit inside their chaos. Heaven is not calling you to be everyone's savior. You were not sent to rescue those who choose to remain broken. Your task is to live in truth, to preserve your spirit, to guard the temple within you. You have spent too much energy trying to prove your worth to people who were never meant to understand you. You've tried to earn love that was already yours from heaven. The approval you crave from them can never fill the emptiness they created. You must stop seeking validation from hearts that cannot recognize your value. You were chosen long before their opinions existed. When you finally step back, you'll feel the air around you clear. You'll see that what felt like loss was actually deliverance. Heaven removes people not to punish you, but to make space for peace. Let that peace come. Let it settle over you like sunlight after a storm. Love them from afar if you must, but stop sacrificing your health for relationships that poison your spirit. Chosen one, your purpose requires clarity, not confusion. Your heart cannot heal while surrounded by voices that tear you apart. Walk away quietly, gracefully, without anger. Heaven will handle what you cannot. You do not owe everyone access to your soul. Love them, bless them, and move on. Because the moment you choose peace over pleasing, your heart begins to beat in rhythm with heaven again, and that, beloved one, is where true healing begins. Chosen one, you have been your own harshest critic for far too long. The war you fight every day isn't against the world, it's within your own mind. You speak words to yourself that you would never dare say to another soul. You replay every mistake, every regret, every failure as proof that you are not enough. But heaven sees something different. Heaven sees the resilience, the grace, the faith that has kept you standing when everything inside you wanted to give up. You keep measuring yourself by what went wrong instead of what you've survived. You think you've fallen too many times, but heaven keeps count not of your failures, but of your returns. Every time you rise again, light is recorded in eternity. Every tear you've cried in secret has watered the soil of your own rebirth. You are not behind. You are in the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. You must stop speaking curses over yourself. The words you whisper in your mind carry power. Every "I can't," every "I'm not enough," carves wounds deeper than any blade could. Replace them with truth. I am growing. I am healing. I am forgiven. You are not the person you were in your lowest moment. You are the one who walked out of it. Heaven never asked you to be perfect. It asked you to be willing, to keep showing up, to keep believing that there is still something good ahead, even when everything feels broken now. The guilt that clings to you serves no purpose anymore. Let it fall. The shame that whispers in your ear was never heaven's voice. It was the echo of fear. And fear has no authority over a soul that has been chosen. When you look in the mirror, stop seeing your scars as proof of failure. They are the marks of survival. They are evidence that pain did not win. You are still here, breathing, becoming, trying. That is victory. That is grace. Speak kindly to yourself. Treat your own heart with gentleness. You are not weak for needing time. You are not broken for needing healing. The world has enough cruelty. Don't add your own voice to it. Heaven delights in your persistence, not your perfection. So stop fighting yourself. Let love real, divine love begin within you. When you do, your entire being will start to heal, not from the outside in, but from the soul outward. Chosen one, your heart is more than an organ beating inside your chest. It is the meeting point between heaven and earth, the sacred bridge that connects your body to your spirit. Every emotion, every thought, every choice passes through this bridge. When your heart is peaceful, everything within you aligns. But when it is burdened with fear, bitterness, and exhaustion, every part of your being begins to fall out of order. That is why heaven warns you. Protect this space as though it were holy ground, because it is. The body may grow weary, the mind may lose focus, but the heart is where the state of your soul is revealed. You can hide your pain from others, but your heart always tells the truth. When it beats faster, it's not always because of anxiety. It may be your spirit calling for rest. When it aches, it's not just from sadness, it's the echo of something unresolved within you. The heart keeps score of everything the mind tries to forget. You were not designed to live divided strong on the outside, collapsing on the inside. The Creator did not build you to function like that. You were meant to be whole, mind, body, and spirit moving together in harmony. But you have spent years separating them, nurturing one while neglecting the other, feeding the mind while starving the soul, pushing the body while silencing the heart. And now heaven is calling you back to balance. The peace you seek will never come from control or perfection. It will come when you allow your heart to rest, when you quiet the chaos long enough to hear what it's been trying to say. It's been begging you to slow down, to breathe deeper, to forgive yourself for not being unbreakable. You are not weak for needing stillness. You are human, and humanity itself was created to depend on heaven's rhythm. Your heart has a language of its own. It speaks through sensations, through silence, through the gentle pull toward what gives life. Every time you ignore its voice, you move further from the alignment that keeps you alive. Every time you honor it by eating well, resting well, loving well, you allow heaven's light to flow freely through you again. The heart is not a machine to push harder. It is a sanctuary to keep pure. Chosen one, protect this gateway. Guard what you allow into it, the conversations you entertain, the music you listen to, the people you trust. These things become food for your soul. Feed it with light, and your life will shine. Feed it with poison, and it will dim. The difference between peace and chaos often begins with what you let touch your heart. So pause now. Feel it beating. That pulse is not only proof of life, it is heaven's reminder that you are still chosen, still loved, still connected. Let your heart return to its rightful place, not as a prisoner of fear, but as a temple of divine rhythm. When the heart is whole, the body follows. And when the body is at peace, the soul can finally hear heaven's whisper again. Chosen one. You've spent much of your life believing that health is simply a matter of effort. Eat well, work hard, rest when there's time. But heaven wants you to understand something deeper. Health is not a suggestion. It is obedience. It is the way you honor the life you were given, the temple you were trusted with. Every act of care, every moment of rest, every breath taken in gratitude is a declaration that you understand. This body was never yours alone. It was a divine gift meant to carry purpose. You are not here to worship your body, but to respect it. You cannot separate the physical from the spiritual, for the two were designed to move together. When your body breaks, your spirit trembles. When your heart is burdened, your flesh grows weak. This is why heaven keeps calling you to balance, not to perfection, but to alignment. The body is not the enemy of the soul. It is its instrument. Through your hands, love is expressed. Through your voice, truth is spoken. Through your body, heaven fulfills its purpose on earth. To neglect it is to limit what heaven can do through you. You've pushed yourself too far, and somewhere along the way, you started believing that exhaustion was holiness, that to burn out for others was the same as serving God. But heaven never asked you to destroy yourself in His name. Even light needs rest to shine clearly. Even the ocean must be still to reflect the sky. When you refuse to rest, when you fill your body with what harms it, when you run on empty and call it faith, you move out of divine order. Every imbalance in your health begins as a small act of disobedience, ignoring hunger, silencing pain, suppressing emotion, refusing rest. You call it discipline, but heaven calls it neglect. There is nothing holy about self-destruction. True faith is found not in constant motion, but in trust. Trust that when you stop, heaven will continue the work. Health is not only about what you eat or how you move. It's also about what you think, what you speak, what you allow to dwell inside you. Bitterness poisons faster than any toxin. Guilt weakens faster than any disease. Fear drains faster than any hunger. To heal, you must cleanse not just the body but the thoughts that govern it. Speak life, think peace, live gently. Chosen one, this is the call. Take care of the vessel you've been given. Treat your body as sacred ground because it is the dwelling place of light. To rest is not to fall behind it, is to realign with heaven's rhythm. To nourish yourself is not self-indulgence, it is gratitude. Health is not pride, it is a partnership with the one who formed you. And when you walk in that understanding, your strength will no longer come from striving, it will flow from obedience. Chosen one, healing does not begin with grand gestures. It begins with small, faithful steps, simple acts done with intention and belief. You do not have to fix everything in one day. You only need to take one step in the right direction, and heaven will meet you there. The miracle does not happen when you finish. It happens the moment you decide to begin again. So begin small, drink water and thank heaven for it. Let the sunlight touch your face and call it grace. Walk slowly instead of rushing through another day. Speak one kind word to yourself instead of another criticism. Rest for 10 minutes without guilt. Every small act of care plants a seed that heaven can grow. You may not see change immediately, but every seed you plant in faith begins to take root the moment you act. You have spent so long trying to start perfectly that you forgot how sacred it is just to start. Perfection has become your prison. You wait for the right moment, the right energy, the right feeling, but those things never come because they are born after obedience, not before it. Heaven is not asking for flawless effort. It is asking for faith in motion. Begin with what you have, even if it feels insignificant. A single spark can light an entire night if it's protected by purpose. There will be days when you fall back into old habits, when the pain returns, when you feel too tired to keep going. Do not hide from heaven in those moments. Come closer instead. You are not disqualified by weakness. You are strengthened by your willingness to return. Every stumble is another chance to choose grace. Every failure that brings you back to humility opens a deeper door to healing. Heaven does not count your mistakes, it counts your returns. Chosen one, healing is not a race, it is a rhythm. It flows like breath, inhale grace, exhale control. Some days you will feel strong, others fragile. That's all right. Consistency in surrender will do more for your soul than any burst of effort born from fear. Keep walking, keep trying, keep listening. You are not starting from nothing, you are starting from experience, from survival, from divine mercy. The path to restoration is not paved with perfection but with persistence. Each act of care, each breath taken in gratitude, each moment you choose peace instead of chaos becomes an offering. Do not despise small beginnings. Heaven never overlooks a humble start. One step, one breath, one choice at a time, you will rebuild the temple within you. And when you look back, you will see that what began as a small decision to heal became the turning point where heaven rewrote your story. Chosen one, now, close your eyes and breathe deeply. Let the noise of the world fade and let your heart grow still. This is not the end of your story, it is the moment heaven begins to rebuild what life has broken. You have heard the warning, you have felt the stirring, and now heaven invites you to return not in fear, but in faith. As you breathe, remember that the same power that formed stars and oceans also formed your heart. Every beat you feel right now is proof that heaven still chooses you. You are still alive because the purpose remains unfinished. You are still standing because grace refused to let you fall. Let this truth settle in your spirit. You were never meant to live exhausted. You were meant to live whole. Now whisper these words as your own. Father, I surrender. I release what I cannot control. I give you my pain, my fear, my guilt, my worry. I no longer wish to carry what was never mine. Heal my heart, purify my thoughts, strengthen my body. Teach me to rest without shame and to move without fear. Teach me to love myself the way you have always loved me. Let peace replace anxiety, light replace heaviness, and faith replace doubt. Let every beat of my heart echo your rhythm again. As you pray, imagine heaven breathing new life into you, the weariness lifting from your chest, the heaviness melting from your shoulders. Feel your pulse slow, your breath deepen, your thoughts begin to clear. This is not imagination. This is grace touching reality. The Creator who built the universe is repairing the sanctuary within you, one breath at a time. The healing you've been chasing was never outside of you, it was waiting for you to let go. Chosen one, remember this moment. It is holy. The same God who rested after creation is resting now within you. From this moment forward, carry peace like armor and gratitude like air. You do not walk alone. Heaven walks with you, breathes with you, and beats within you. As you rise from this prayer, rise renewed. Your heart has been restored, your spirit reborn. And from this day on, every heartbeat will testify to one truth. You were not saved by chance, you were saved by purpose.